Hey, it's Chris Aiken from the Classic Metal Show, and I want to invite you to my first ever public book signing. I'll be doing a special reading, question and answer session, and a signing of my new book, Little Victories, A Tale of Divorce, Debauchery, and Finding Happiness on Thursday, March 20th at Visible Voice Books, located at 1023 Kenilworth Road, Cleveland, Ohio, 44113. I'll have a limited supply of Little Victories on hand to sign. I'll be reading selections from Little Victories, as well as telling stories and reading some material that was left out of Little Victories. I'll end with a Q&A session that will be a no-holds-barred affair. The signing will be from 7 to 9 p.m. at Visible Voice Books, 1023 Kenilworth Road, Cleveland, Ohio, 44113. Come out, have some fun, and be a part of a rare appearance from me, Chris Aiken.
You're just tuning in. It's Eddie Trunk Live. Now, everybody knows that I reunited Dokken and Lynch together on that metal show. Myself. I got Twisted Sister back together. Myself. You know, I don't want to take total credit for this, but it is a little bit strange how there's been somewhat of a UFO renaissance in the last few years since I've been screaming about UFO on my TV and radio shows. Myself. 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 And it's the one band that's probably benefited the most from me doing that metal show on VH1 Classic. Myself. I just edited myself. Freudian slip there.
Wheezy strikes again.
I just don't get that even if you have done something, and I certainly will not at all take away that Eddie has had some play and some influence on some of these bands, you know, having some success or getting back together or whatever. I won't say that he hasn't. He has.
Sure he has.
But, man, oh man, do you have to fucking... Is that what your career is? Is fucking pointing at yourself and saying, look at me?
Well, I think, and again, I don't know, but I think that he doesn't... I don't think he thinks he gets the credit that he believes he's due.
But you know when you get the most credit? When you're not fucking telling people.
I know, but it just gets to the point where I'm not getting recognized the way that I should, so I'm going to have to go out there and, you know, blow my own horn.
Really? I mean, well, then I guess you should start talking about London and, you know, maybe every time you talk to London or anytime we reference London, maybe you should sit there and talk about how you brought London back together.
Yeah.
Maybe we should talk about every time we talk about Jack Frost or Anthrax or anything, it'll be like, oh yeah, remember when we made Jack Frost and Joey Belladonna work together? Remember when we did that?
Right.
You know, I mean, dude, everybody that's been in this business longer than 5 years has somebody that they've helped in some way or given a thought to that put them back together.
Sure.
You know, or together or had some sort of an accomplishment.
Right.
It's not so much that Eddie hasn't had accomplishments.
Whoop.
You know, it's not so much that Eddie's had accomplishments. He certainly has had accomplishments. But man, oh man, do you come off as a petty douche.
Yeah. Especially
when all you do is sell it.
Yeah, you just go out there and you just beg for attention.
You know what? Just know that. You know when attention is good? When other people talk about it.
Right.
And I guarantee you, like this Kiss thing as a prime example, if Eddie did do his thing, and Eddie posted I'm sure it's posted in his podcast section and blah, blah, blah. And you know what? Eddie would have gotten the credit for that. He would have gotten the credit for that. He doesn't have to keep going, hey, did you guys hear me? Do you hear me? I did Kiss. I broke the news. It was my show. It was me with Kiss.
Right.
Dude, we get it. Nobody else is going to take credit for it.
Sure.
It just seems petty to me.
Well, apparently he's not getting the credit he believes he's due, so...
Yeah, but now it's all negative credit because fans don't fucking... Are there... And maybe I'm just jaded. Are there people out there that look at Eddie and are like, oh my God, Eddie Trunk is the fucking end-all be-all?
There are some people like that.
Are there really?
Oh, yeah, there are.
No kidding. I did not know that.
Yep, there are some people who look to Eddie that he's like the ultimate rock dude.
Oh, well, in that case, keep at it, Eddie. And again, I have no animosity with Eddie. None. I respect Eddie a ton. I like Eddie. I think I like Eddie more than you do. But it gets really kind of tiring.
No, I did not see any of his posts this week, so, I'll just take your word for it.
Yeah, good point, Blade Runner. Tony from Kansas City.
Yeah, well, there's one right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Tony's a nice guy, but he likes Eddie.
Yeah, he does like Eddie. And believe me, I respect Eddie. I respect the fact that he's been able to survive. Eddie is like the national Bill Peters in that he's been able to survive and not change musically what he's done for a lot of years.
Right.
And look, believe me, that's awesome. And it's awesome that he's been able to, find a little home on Sirius and, and turn that metal show into something. All of that stuff is great accomplishments, but it's big enough accomplishments that you don't have to keep sucking your own dick in the process. I mean, really.
Right.
Don't have to keep saying, well, and some of his stuff, when you open yourself up that way, you ask yourself to get fucking made to look foolish.
Right.
And the clip that you just played, prime example of that. Eddie Trunk had nothing to do with Lynch and Dokken talking. Nothing. They were talking before they were both on that metal show. They were talking about that. And you and I know this to be true. They've been talking about this reunion thing for at least 10 years.
At least.
And they've been talking, not through people. The two of them have
just face-to-face talking.
Yeah. It's not like the first time they saw each other in a decade was at the fucking taping of that metal show.
Not at all.
Didn't Don say that he went to like a Souls of We show or something?
Yeah, he said he actually walked up on stage or in the side stage and told George he needed to tune his guitar.
Yeah. But I mean, they saw each other at that event.
And they ran into each other at a drugstore.
And there was something about, wasn't there in a hotel room or something, or at a hotel? And I don't want to tell the details of it because I don't know if I can. Here, I'll type to you and you tell me if I can. This.
Oh, yeah. That was at a show.
That was at a show?
Yeah, that was at a show.
Okay. I don't know if we're even allowed to mention that, are we?
Nah, I wouldn't talk about it.
All right, we'll leave that alone. But the fact is that we knew that they were together having discussions.
Yeah, sure.
So for Eddie to say, well, it happened on that metal show, that's crap.
Right.
It's just an untrue statement.
Yeah.
And, unfortunately for Eddie is that there are people now that will look for that kind of shit and call him out on it.
Right.
So.
Hail and kill, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, didn't Eddie have a falling out with Paul Stanley, and he said he wasn't going to promote any more Kiss stuff anymore?
Yeah, well, he did. He said that both Gene and Paul said that they don't need Eddie Trunk to promote anything Kiss related. And they
locked him out of something he thought he was supposed to be doing with them at like a convention or something, and that they said through a publicist that something like, "You're not allowed here. You can't come back." Or you're not a VIP or something, and he went on this big tirade on his website blog or something, and he said he wasn't going to promote it.
Well,
it was right when they had a new record coming.
Yeah. Well, he also doesn't get along with Sharon Osbourne either.
I don't know who does.
Well, regardless, but he has some kind of fallen out with Sharon Osbourne too.
Yeah, aside from that must be why he's on the other channel on XM anymore, not on, Yard.
Ozzy's Boneyard.
That's what they call it now.
Yeah.
I mean, now here Eddie is back in full Kiss mode, like the 12th member of Kiss.
Well, it's only because of Eddie that Kiss got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
That must be it. Eddie is the mouse in Jan Wenner's office.
Well, if you were to listen to Eddie, you would believe that he was responsible for getting them in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. So much for not. I guess it's only because of Ace that
right
talks about them at all.
Exactly.
It seemed like as soon as he said he wouldn't promote them anymore, he started qualifying do stuff, and I'm still gonna be talking to Ace and Peter and other past members, and I'm just not gonna talk to Paul, and I'm still gonna play their old stuff, and I'll still do the Kiss the Special and all that shit.
You know more than I do. I don't even know that much about Eddie's show.
I listen sometimes on the XM show, but honestly, it's not very interesting.
Sure.
It's just it's from dummies who don't know what's going on.
Yeah, well.
And he tries to educate them, but he's not like you guys are. You'll just cut through the bullshit and explain it. He'll try to do it, but he'll try to be Mr. Diplomat about it.
Right. Well, because he's commercially sponsored and he doesn't want to offend anybody.
I don't know if his XM show is commercially sponsored.
Well,
I don't think I don't think that it's commercial sponsorship as much as Eddie doesn't want to have any enemies in the rock world. Eddie wants everybody to be part of the big family and everybody to be sucking his cock, and he wants to be the first interview. He wants to be the fucking
have the segment that you just had.
Like what?
He doesn't want to have the segment that you just had.
Right. No, absolute. That's absolutely it. He does not. If Eddie doesn't like that KXM thing, he'll play the song, but he won't talk about it. He'll be like, "Hey, we got brand new stuff from George Lynch and Doug Pinnick," and he'll play the song, and he'll be like, "Hey, there it was," and that'll be it.
And the only way you'll tell that he doesn't like it is that he won't say it how wonderful it is.
Yeah. Exactly. It's like Andrew McNeese at melodicrock.com. A fucking terrible rating is like a 70.
Good God. That bad, huh? I just saw the list of participants and thought, I'll pass on that. I can get along without hearing that.
Yeah, well...
In fact, Go ahead.
Andrew McNeese, and Andrew's a friend, but Andrew, on his website, he gave that fucking awful Boston record a 65 out of 100. And there's no possible way.
That's like a 20 by Pit Riff standards.
Yeah, I think that's about what I gave it, too. It was about, I think, like a 20 or 22 or something.
Give a really low to try to find at least one good thing to say about it to justify, the 14 points that you give it or something.
You know what? I think I found like one song that sort of sounded like Boston.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I ever saw you just totally trash and not find one good thing to say about it is Bret Michaels.
Well, because there's nothing good to say about it. It's fucking...
Well, of course, speaking of which, off on a tangent.
Listening to a Bret Michaels album is like fucking a chick that you know has AIDS and you don't have a condom, but you do it anyway, knowing that it will kill you.
Good God. And the thing about something about being viciously throat fucked.
Yeah, I did say that.
Yes, you did say that. Speaking of which, you see the thing on Blabbermouth today about Ricky Rocket saying that one member of Poison is making touring difficult.
Yeah, I did see that, actually.
I can't imagine who that would be.
I'm going to guess it would be Brett because he doesn't want to share the pie with the other guys.
No, of course
Doesn't
not.
need to. Brett can just pull that Evile band as his backing band and just fucking pay those guys $1,500 a week, and he'll make $20,000 a show.
Not Evile.
Or whatever it is. It's not Evile. Who is it?
Evile's that English thrash band.
Oh, yeah, you're right. What is that band called? It's some band.
Evert or Evic or something like that.
Evic.
Yeah, Evic.
Yeah, it's the dude's name.
Right.
That's right. Evile. Whoops. My bad.
They played that Metal Sludge show for us, right? Evic?
Yeah, they played.
I think you owe Evile an apology.
So I definitely do. Sorry to those guys because they're good. Here's the quote from the Bret Michaels review. It said, have you ever watched some? Let me start again. Have you ever watched some really B-level porn? Never mind, y'all have and won't admit it. When watching that porn, have you ever seen some of that more brutal throat rape where a dude literally chokes a woman to the point of passing out with an aggressive thrusting designed to blow out the back of her skull, JFK style? Did you ever wonder what the chick was thinking at that exact moment? You have to imagine she was thinking, man, this seemed like a great idea before it started, but now I'm realizing just how awful this is and how detrimental this could be to the rest of my life. Listening to Bret Michaels jamming with friends is pretty much the same. While it may have seemed like a good idea at the time, the result is just another horrific example of the fact that Bret Michaels is barely a musician anymore, more interested in a name-dropping fest than actually putting any sort of effort into providing quality product to the sheep that still buy his garbage.
So it's no surprise that didn't make your top 20 of the year that year.
No, that one, where's the score? That one got a 1 out of 100.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking that was the lowest score that you ever gave anything.
Yeah, that's the worst. That to me, and I'm sure we'll get there, but that is the worst album of pretty much all time. I can't think of anything worse than that.
Not Frequency Unknown?
I'd listen to Frequency Unknown 1,000 times before I would listen to Jamming with Friends once.
Would you really pull it?
What?
Would you really pull a Jim Bartek?
If I had to listen to Jammin' with Friends once or Frequency Unknown every day for a year, I'd take Frequency Unknown. I really would. I actually don't hate Frequency Unknown. You know, all facade aside, I do like a couple of tunes on it, man. There's some fucking rockin' songs on that album, actually. And I know now I'll start getting beat up for saying that. Oh, you're kissing Jeff's ass. I really kind of liked Cold and Slave.
I'm sure he will be reassured.
Well, I really did like some of the songs, and he played with one of my buddies, so I can't really compare. I really can't complain. He played with Craig Lucicero from Forbidden, so that made it good to me.
Well, on that note, I'll just let you continue your segment because I'm already bored.
All right, good.
All right, hail and kill.
Fuck you, pal.
Ace. I met up with Ace Frehley. Ace. Ace gave me a computer lesson. Ace, of course. AceFrehley.com. Ace. That is out of complete control. Ace. Amazing. My favorite word. Just saw Ace. Ace Frehley. What's up, Ace? Ace. Bleep that out. I know a place where we can emerge out of a spacecraft.
Speaking of talking metal and Ace and all that.
Yeah.
Chuck Spear over on the Classic Metal Show Facebook, facebook.com/the CMS. He dropped us a message this evening.
Okay.
I know you just reviewed a talking metal, but episode 459 is a classic with lots of Ace drops. Check it out.
Okay. I'm in.
So that's Chuck Spear from Terre Haute, Indiana.
Okay. Well, then we'll have to check that out if we have time.
Right. Ace.
We've already done 4 hours tonight.
Yeah, it's already gone.
God damn.
Yeah.
This show is blown by.
It has. Only 2 hours left.
No kidding. Well, why don't you play a song or two? My beer can is empty.
Yeah,
So-
mine too.
Let's reload, and we'll come back and we'll review a band that has a great name.
Yeah, we need to get into that. I'm curious myself because I did not listen to this.
All right, so we'll do that, and we'll talk about the worst albums of all time, and then we'll see where we're at that point.
And then we might throw something else in, but that worst album might take us up to the end of the show.
It very well might.
All right. Well, I'll dig something out here, but since we were mentioning our good friend Tony from Kansas City,
Yeah.
I thought I'd play this little bumper that Wheezy put together for us back in 2009.
Okay.
And then I'll play a tune or two. So here's Tony from Kansas City exclusively here.
On your classic metal show.
This is Tony from Kansas City. I have pictures with DJs I listen to over the internet. Yes, I won some stuff off Eddie Trunk. And if you listen to it, I was pressed for time. He wanted to hurry up and get me off the phone. I did not have time. I can't win. Would it help to tell you guys that I was on a strong beer buzz? Shit, you guys are fucking killing me, man. How can I make it up to you guys? You tell me. I'm at your beck and call. Please. You guys mean the world to me, okay? Hey, I feel like a pig in dookie. What can I do? Listen, all I did was win a bunch of CDs and a t-shirt and shit, man. Come on, you know? I'm going to make it up to you guys. I don't know what yet, but I'm going to, okay? Come on, man. When I wear the Rex shirt, I wear it with pride. Come on, Neeley, help me out here. Come on, Neeley, shit. You know, I never thought I'd say this, but this is one time where I wish you guys just hung up on me.
Tony fucked the CMS.
Thanks a lot, Tony. Well, dude, obviously, man, you know my opinions of the record, and you know this from a couple years ago, man. I was a huge fan of Alan's anyway from Hades. But like you had said, man, obviously with Amped, you know...
Well, you know what the problem is? Here's the problem with Alan. He's always played with Dan Lorenzo. Let me say that name again, Dan Lorenzo. The guy's a douchebag and a shitty guitar player, and I hope he hears this finally, because he talks a lot of shit about me to people, so I just want to say this. Dan Lorenzo is a douchebag. Okay, next question.
Well, now, see, now that's not very nice. Dan's a friend of ours, but you wouldn't talk shit about talking metal. What's that about?
Dude, Dan talks a lot of shit about me and puts a lot of shit on the internet about me for no reason whatsoever. Like, and I've always been nice to this guy, dude, and he really ripped me apart to a lot of people for no reason. That's why I'm pretty disgusted with him, and I just don't like the guy anymore. And I wish he would say it to my face that he doesn't like me, and I'd be cool with that. And it's like, you know what? Alan is an amazing singer, and I'm tired of people putting him down. And that's kind of like I'm pretty annoyed about what Dan's been saying about me. You know, be honest with you. And I never talk shit about people, ever. But this is the first time that I had enough of you know, it got back to me pretty bad.
Well, what's he saying?
That's just saying I'm a shitty guitar player. I don't know what I'm doing. Just, I'm terrible. I'm a joke. I'm a joke in the industry.
Hey, it's Chris Aiken from the Classic Metal Show. Most people know me as the foul-mouthed shock jock from the Classic Metal Show, or the no-nonsense heavy metal critic from pitriff.com. Now you get to learn the other side. My first book, Little Victories, A Tale of Divorce, Debauchery, and Finding Happiness, comes out on January 13th in paperback and digital formats on Amazon and iTunes. It details my real-world emotional struggles over a year that included a divorce after a quarter century of marriage and the death of my father. It profiles things I did right, as well as a bevy of things that I did wrong with the help of alcohol, and how I found my way out of the muck of the emotional state that almost saw me commit suicide. Pre-order your copy of Little Victories, A Tale of Divorce, Debauchery, and Finding Happiness today at www.chrisaikenbooks.com and get in touch with the more fallible side of me, Chris Aiken. Sounds happy, huh?